Welcome back, beautiful people, to Nation of Glory, your home for the most inspiring, emotional, and unforgettable stories from the world of Hollywood and beyond. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned, because today, we are diving deep into the extraordinary journey of one of the most remarkable talents to emerge from Scotland, a woman whose fire, humor, and heart have touched millions around the globe, the one and only, Karen Gillan. Now, most of you probably remember her from Doctor Who, the time-traveling adventure that made generations fall in love with imagination again. But what many people don't know is that Karen's story isn't just about fame or fortune, it's about courage, transformation, and believing in yourself even when the world doubts you. So, sit back, relax, and let's take a cinematic journey through the life of Karen Sheila Gillan, the girl from Inverness who conquered Hollywood with nothing but talent, determination, and a dream too big to ignore. Karen Sheila Gillan was born on November 28, 1987, in Inverness, Scotland, a land known for its legends, its misty highlands, and its quiet strength. From the very beginning, Karen wasn't just another small-town girl. She had a spark, that little something in her eyes that said she was meant for more. Growing up in a close-knit Scottish family, she was surrounded by love, laughter, and the kind of stories that ignite the imagination of a child who dreams in colors brighter than the rest of the world. Her father, Raymond Gillan, was a singer and recording artist, and perhaps it was from him that she inherited her sense of rhythm, her confidence, her love for performance. Her mother, Marie, was her biggest supporter, the gentle force behind every dream Karen dared to chase. And chase she did. At just a young age, Karen knew that she wasn't meant to stay confined to the limits of Inverness. She loved the arts, loved the idea of becoming someone else, telling stories that could make people cry, laugh, and believe again. But dreams come with challenges. When Karen decided to leave home to study acting at the prestigious Italia Conti Academy in London, it wasn't easy. Imagine being a teenager, leaving behind the comfort of family and friends, to step into the unknown world of show business. Yet, Karen did it with grace. She packed her dreams in a suitcase, said goodbye to the Scottish hills, and moved to London, the city that would become the first chapter of her rise. London wasn't kind at first. The acting world is tough, full of competition, rejection, and endless waiting rooms. But Karen had something special, a mix of Scottish stubbornness and artistic soul that made her stand out. She started modeling for a while, not because she wanted fame, but because she needed to survive, to pay her rent, to stay close to the dream. She worked hard, trained harder, and learned to face cameras not just with a pretty face, but with fierce emotion. And then, fate struck. She landed small roles on television, appearances in shows like Rebus and The Kevin Bishop Show, where her comedic timing began to shine. But the universe had bigger plans. In 2010, Karen got the call that would change her life forever. She was cast as Amy Pond in Doctor Who, the beloved companion to the 11th Doctor, played by Matt Smith. Now, if you've ever been a fan of Doctor Who, you'll understand, the companions aren't just side characters. They are the emotional heart of the story, the bridge between humanity and the vast universe. And Karen's Amy Pond became exactly that. She was fierce, witty, loyal, and brave, a fiery Scottish woman who faced monsters, aliens, and heartbreak with courage. Her chemistry with Matt Smith made audiences fall in love instantly. Together, they created something magical, a duo that reminded fans what it means to dream beyond time. But what made Karen stand out wasn't just her beauty or her talent, it was her emotional depth. Behind the scenes, she treated every role like a piece of her soul. She once said in an interview that acting, for her, wasn't about fame, it was about storytelling, about connecting to the audience on a human level. That's what made Amy Pond unforgettable. The laughter, the tears, the sacrifice, all of it felt real because Karen made it real. As Doctor Who grew in global popularity, Karen's name became known everywhere. Fans adored her, conventions celebrated her, and she became a symbol of strength for young women watching around the world. But even at the height of fame, Karen stayed humble, the same Scottish girl who loved her tea, her parents, and quiet nights away from the noise. When her time on Doctor Who came to an emotional end, it wasn't goodbye to her career, it was the beginning of a new adventure. Karen didn't rest on her success. She packed her bags once again, but this time, she wasn't heading to London. She was heading to Hollywood. A new world, a new dream. The city of stars, where dreams can either bloom or break. Karen arrived not as a celebrity demanding attention, but as a determined artist ready to start from zero again. And it paid off. Her first big Hollywood break came when she was cast as Nebula in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. But here's the thing, when she got that call, she had no idea just how huge it would become. She shaved her head completely for the role, a decision that shocked many, but for Karen, it was simple. She was all in. That's the kind of commitment that defines greatness. Nebula wasn't just another villain, she was complex, broken, and filled with pain, the daughter of Thanos, the sister of Gamora, and a character torn between hate and redemption. Karen brought depth to Nebula that made audiences cry for a blue-skinned, robotic warrior. That's no small feat. Her performance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 was praised, but it was in Infinity War and Endgame where she truly shined. That moment when Nebula faced her past self, confronting all the pain and trauma, that was Karen's brilliance in full display. Without words, she told a story of healing and forgiveness that resonated deeply with fans. But Hollywood wasn't just about blockbusters for her. Karen was building something bigger, a voice, a purpose. She began writing and directing, stepping behind the camera to tell stories that mattered to her. Her directorial debut, The Party's Just Beginning, was a raw, emotional exploration of grief and mental health set in her hometown of Inverness. It was deeply personal, beautifully shot, and brutally honest. Critics praised her courage to tackle such heavy themes with authenticity. It was clear, Karen Gillan wasn't just an actress. She was an artist. Over time, she balanced massive franchises with independent films, moving effortlessly between comedy, drama, and action. She starred in Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle and its sequel, where she proved she could hold her own alongside Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, and Jack Black. Her role as Ruby Roundhouse wasn't just funny and fierce, it was empowering. She managed to make a video game avatar feel like a real woman learning to embrace her power. Once again, Karen brought humanity to the extraordinary. And that's what makes her so loved. She doesn't chase fame, she chases meaning. Every project she chooses, whether it's an action film, a sci-fi epic, or a quiet indie piece, carries a piece of her soul. Behind the camera, she's thoughtful and kind. On set, she's known for her laughter and humility. And in interviews, she always reminds fans that dreams aren't about luck, they're about patience, work, and believing when no one else does. Karen has often spoken about how growing up in Scotland shaped her, how the landscapes, the isolation, and the sense of wonder influenced her storytelling. You can feel it in her performances, that quiet fire, that poetic sadness, that unspoken strength. She carries her heritage proudly, and that authenticity makes her relatable to millions. But even the brightest stars have their dark days. There were times when Karen struggled, moments of self-doubt, homesickness, the pressure of being a woman in Hollywood, the constant comparisons, the headlines. Yet, she faced them all with grace. She once said, "The moment you stop trying to please everyone is the moment you find your freedom." And that's exactly what she did. She found her freedom in art, in storytelling, in being unapologetically herself. Over the years, Karen has become more than an actress, she's become an inspiration. She's shown that success doesn't come overnight. It takes grit, passion, and the courage to start again. From Inverness to the Marvel Universe, from television to directing, from laughter to heartbreak, her journey is a testament to what happens when you don't give up. Fans love her because she's real. She's goofy, humble, and unafraid to be silly. She can make a crowd laugh one moment and break their hearts the next. And that's the secret. She's human first, actress second. Whether it's on red carpets, interviews, or social media, Karen radiates warmth, a genuine kindness that reminds us all why we fell in love with her in the first place. And let's not forget, she's still only getting started. With more projects lined up, new films in development, and her continued work as a filmmaker, Karen is shaping a legacy far beyond acting. She's proving that women in Hollywood don't have to fit into boxes, they can write, direct, create, and lead. She's opening doors for the next generation of artists who dare to dream just like she did once, in that little Scottish town. In a world obsessed with perfection, Karen Gillan reminds us that authenticity wins hearts. That you can be quirky, weird, emotional, and still be powerful. Her laughter is infectious, her performance is magnetic, and her journey, nothing short of inspiring. She's living proof that when passion meets purpose, magic happens. As we look back on her path, from the girl who dreamed of the stars to the woman who now shines among them, we can't help but feel proud. Proud of her courage, her growth, and her ability to make millions believe that no dream is too far, no world too big, and no heart too small to make a difference. So, to everyone watching this right now, remember Karen Gillan's story. Remember that every success begins with a single step into the unknown. That sometimes, the hardest journeys lead to the most beautiful destinations. And that it's not about where you start, it's about how much heart you carry along the way. Karen's story isn't just about Hollywood fame. It's about hope, resilience, and the power of storytelling. It's about chasing the light even when the world feels dark. It's about never giving up on your dreams, no matter how impossible they seem. Because if a young girl from Inverness can become a Marvel hero, a Doctor Who legend, and a respected filmmaker, then maybe, just maybe, we all have a little bit of that same magic inside us. And that, my friends, is the story of Karen Gillan, the woman who showed the world that imagination has no limits, that strength comes in many forms, and that kindness is the greatest superpower of all. Thank you for joining us today on Nation of Glory. We hope you felt inspired, moved, and reminded that greatness begins with believing in yourself. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful Hollywood journeys just like this one. Your support keeps us going and helps us bring you the most heartfelt stories from around the world. Until next time, stay inspired, stay kind, and remember, glory isn't about fame. It's about the courage to follow your dreams. This is Nation of Glory, signing off. See you in the next story.